I think this is on. I think this is on. Hey folks, and welcome. It is Wednesday. I think it's a minute or two after the top of the hour. We got distracted, and I was like, "Oh boy, it's time to go." If you can see me, hear me, please let me know in the chat so that I may stop worrying about that, and I will waffle along while I wait for folks to both hop in, get the alert. Game Guy says the tech is working. Thank goodness. Today I am rocking the Hasta La Vista Boss mug that Adrian sent me. I just wish that it was over there instead of over here, because then to show off the thing, I've got to drink it like this. It's a little awkward, Adrian. Speaking of Adrian, though, I have not caught up with that guy in a long time. And I know he's not doing much on YouTube, and I know he's super busy, and I'm certain that he's still like doing his thing, but it would be cool to catch up. So, Adrian, if you're ever watching this on replay, I miss you, man, and I hope the best for all of you. I am saying hi to folks in the chat. I see Josh was here first, so no arguing today about who was first. And Game Guy and Margaret, Zach and Eric, and Maeve and Dee. Wow, Dee made it in live for the first time in a while. It's good to see you there. And Graham. What's going on? So, Graham, is it Graham or Graham? Because I need to know if it's the short A or the long A so I can pronounce it correctly. Because I have a feeling I have not been pronouncing it correctly at all for a long time. Dee says the laptop is broken, so trying it on mobile. Hey, whatever gets you here. So, today I'm also rocking my Otis shirt. Otis has a good taste in the shirts that they choose. So, thank you very much, Otis, for the shirt. If you are a business in this specific niche and you have a shirt you would like to send me to wear, please let me know, because I love free shirts. In fact, I like free stuff just in general, not even just shirts, just free stuff. All right. So because this is a stream for folks who are content creators, I figured that we should actually talk about things like our websites and YouTube and all the rest. I did hear that there have been maybe some casualties as the result of He Who Must Not Be Named, a video that was produced recently that called out several folks um, in our space here on YouTube. And some people have decided to hang up the towel with YouTube, at least for the short term or maybe long term, which I think is a real bummer, because folks who are in this space, even if they're not doing it perfectly, even if they're not doing it the same way that other people are doing it, I just think they have so much value. And it just bums me out that people, I mean, it's hard not to be impacted by being like called out publicly and like on a video that is getting lots and lots and lots of views. So I get that. I just am bummed that that is the result. Checking the chat. Sonia is here. Woke up to bad news today. Oh, Sonia, I'm so sorry. She said that she lost her job today. That is such a bummer. And I wish so much that your website was further along so that it could be a safety net for you. I hope I think I keep my fingers crossed that you will be able to navigate this. And everybody, I'm certain in the chat, even though I cannot see them, feels very similarly, because it could happen to any of us and all of us at all time. Graham says I'm pronouncing it perfectly. All right. I mean, I like doing stuff perfectly. So there. Eric says that he noticed a group of his articles written more than 6 months ago do not get traffic. I understand the importance of keyword research more than ever. I think it is really interesting to go back and look at specific clusters that I wrote and to see how some of them really took off. And hopefully I remember how it is I came across those keywords versus other experiments that just never did. And some of them were done similarly as far as how I discovered the keywords. But I think some clusters, some topics, Google doesn't think that, I don't want to say that they don't belong, but that because I think Google has decided what my site is about, that even though I should be able to compete for those topics, Google doesn't really think my site is about those things, and instead pushes the traffic to sites where the sites are more about those things. So it's not just low competition keywords anymore. It's just, I think Google has decided my site isn't about those things, and I don't get any traffic for them, which stinks because I have like what, 100 articles in some of these topics that will never get traffic. Maybe one day. Game Guy says, wait, I missed that video. Can someone in the chat tell me he who must not be named is so I can see the video? Yeah, I don't even want to tell you because I don't even want you to go and watch it. I don't want to ever give a platform to people who come out and their messages about cutting people down to lift themselves up. I just think like people who front this with like, I just want to be real. I just want to tell it like it is because nobody else is willing to tell it like it is. Like, come on, you're on YouTube. Why not spend that time making money, doing the thing that you know how to do versus trying to build a YouTube channel to make money on the backs of being negative. Anyway, it yeah. Yeah. There's Sabina dropping into the chat. What's going on? And Adrian, is Adrian still on vacation or is Adrian back with us and working again? There is also Jen. It's so fun to see everybody dropping in as the notifications go out. As you roll into the chat, make sure you smash the like button. We have no idea if that does anything at all. It just seems like the right thing to ask for and do and say because, sheep. I'm a sheep. Josh says, honestly, it's just that people speak as authorities and knowledgeable, and he took it to be giving poor advice. I mean, fair enough. It's just what do we do with our platforms here? I'm just of a mind that I think it's important to be, I guess, as positive as possible and lead people to the light by like trying to live to be the person I would like everybody else to be on YouTube. Maybe that's what it is. Leading by trying to lead by example. I wouldn't say I'm leading anything, but trying to be the example of what I would hope everybody else would be around here. Eric, back to the topic of keywords about why some clusters never take off. He said his seed keywords were very competitive and it's hard to decide where to go from there. Yeah, I feel you. Sonia says that thanks for the moral support. We are happy to provide it. The site is generating $200 a month, which is great, and I'm close to 50,000. Praying for media event. So the last time we checked in, the site was around low 30s as far as sessions per month, and so you have been working very hard. It's like, where is it now? Are you into the 40s yet? Because I'm like so curious. Like, what is close? Like almost there? I would like to know. I am Dee says, can we get Fix to do a response video? If anybody would and could care less about the impact is Fix, and I wish that he would. Adrian says he's not working yet. He says maybe in August. Carl, thanks for dropping in. Carl, by the way, before you go, if you haven't snuck out, we need to know what's for tea. And his comment is to stay positive. This business is hard enough without all the negativity others can spread. Yes, I agree. Oh, and I see it. I had not scrolled down far enough. You got ahead of me. You let me know that it was the fish and chips, which sounds delicious, by the way. Sonia says that she's at 44,000 sessions and might hit 50 in July. We are all rooting for you, dear. You have been in the chat, and it's the middle of the night where you live right now. Somebody who's really sticking with it, just doing as much as she can for the long haul. And so I would hope so much that your goals will be realized. Let's see, on the list of stuff to talk about, I did get the outreach from Content Pit last month. They reached out, and I'm not talking about them now because I'm an affiliate, because I'm not yet. But I did just want to say that for those of you who are getting outreached by Content Pit, I mean, I get cold message from a lot of content providers, and most of them I ignore. And Niche Safari Chris suggested to me that I should go ahead and work with these folks and just test out their service, because he had I think, a reasonable experience. And so I did. And I got 10,000 words of content. And I can say that it was a good experience. That content came back reasonably quickly from as compared to some other experiences that I've had. And I would recommend them to folks who are looking for content, because my experience was good. So I just wanted to put that out there. Content Pit did not ask me to say anything in this video. I just wanted to highlight this because I do know that some of us out here in YouTube, the YouTube world, do get cold DM'd by companies, um, and I had a good experience. So don't be afraid of them if that comes up. And I will be coming around to do my review for Content Pit eventually. I promise, Content Pit, if you're watching this, I'm going to get on that. Also, I wanted to mention, and because I talked about it last week, that July, like the end of June, the beginning of July, was the 12-month anniversary of starting the fight site, the niche site cage fight project that sort of never launched, like officially, between me and Chris. I've continued to work on the site, and instead of making a video about the 12-month update, just because it's summer and I'm spending a lot of time with my kids, and you can see the tan because I've been outside so much. We were camping again this last weekend, and even though I showered, I still smell like campfire, which is my favorite smell, by the way. Ode to campfire. Ode to wood smoke. But I did decide to just do a write-up, and if I can get around to making a video, I will. But the write-up is on my personal blog. The link is in the description below. I am trying to post over there a little bit more. It's just hard. It's just hard to get everything. But the upside is that I looked at Ezoic after having been out for a couple of days, and the site is on its way to making $100 a month. Finally, like, it only took 12 months. Right now, it's just under $98 for the last 30 days, and things have been slowly going like this post update in May. And I am cautiously optimistic that the site will finally cross the $100 a month mark by maybe by the end of month 13, but definitely by the end of month 14. So I know that's not like a knock your socks off win, but I'm excited about it for so many reasons. And I'm going to continue to work on the site. And I know that I will make update videos about it, but probably I can make no promises about when I will make update videos. YouTube has been really hard to get to in the last couple of months. And it will be interesting to see how that changes, because all of my children will be in school for the first time this fall. I don't know. Will I get more work done, or will I use some of that time to make healthy food and work out, or get a job? I don't know. So weird to think about. Speaking of Ezoic, I mentioned this last week. I did add my Otis.global case study to Ezoic, just to see, one, will the site earn any or earn any money, what the EPMV would be, um, and also go through the process of adding a site to Ezoic, which I haven't done in a long time. And so the method that I added it was using the automatic placeholder generation process through the plugin, which I found stupid easy. It was so easy. Normally I would go through and add the placeholders one at a time, and I could see that the placeholders exist. You'd press the button, and then it takes a little while, but you come back and all that stuff is there. The downside is that I think that there is more optimizing that is needed. It's only been like 10 days, a week, and so far the EPMV is like 50 cents, and there will be some optimizing, I'm sure. So I'm not going to worry about it, but that's been my experience so far. It was much easier, but I feel like there's definitely going to be some tweaking that needs to happen, and I will be doing that very soon. I guess when I get around to it. But while I was in Ezoic, I also noticed that, and it was a reminder to me that Ezoic's having their content month in August. And for those of you who are interested in trying to win content from, not free content, they're giving away packages from niche website builders and hands-off publishing. And as far as I can tell, I mean, there's no money. I mean, you have to sign up and presumably to get the emails. And I think the more you participate in content month, the more entries you will get and chances to win that you will get. And so I would not shy away from entering into these because even though it seems like a lot of people in this space might talk about it, I think there's fewer people than you think participating in these sweepstakes. So if you like to win stuff, and if 10,000 words of content would make a difference in your business, for free, then I would not hesitate to go and participate in that just to see if I could get some free stuff because I do love free stuff. I am going to the chat because I've been not paying attention. People talking about fish and chips because fish and chips apparently are delicious. Ooh, Maeve said she had her first $100 day. Oh, that is so exciting. I'm so happy for you. That is so awesome. What a great feeling. You go from like the $1 a day to the $5 day to the $10 day, and it just slowly goes up. And what a great like box to check, right? Because it happens once and then it won't happen again for a while, but then it happens again, and then all of a sudden it's happening consistently, and you start aiming at $150 a day or $200 a day, and so on. So that's just so very cool. Eric says he's at a plateau. Sorry, the chat just scrolled ahead of me. Something about tartar sauce. I don't know about tartar sauce. Oh, there it is. Eric says he's at a plateau for 3 months. It's not growing as my site has been de-indexed by Bing. I saw that you mentioned that in the Icarus spreadsheet. And I feel like after, I'm actually going to make a note because I rarely log into the Bing Webmaster Tools. But I'm actually going to go do that and make sure that all of my stuff is happy over there because I haven't been over there in so long. Like every time I start a site, I will go and add it to Bing Webmaster Tools and add a sitemap and just make sure, but then I just ignore it. And I feel like I should go check it out now just in case, because it's not like they send you an email and they're like, hey, by the way, we just, aren't. So going to do that. Let's see, magic sauce, amazement. D says, but I won the niche site cage fight, and that's all that matters. Well, it is not difficult to win when only one person is playing, but the answer is yes. Boy, did I. I mean, it's not over yet. Technically, it was a 15-month project, but sometimes just being persistent and gritty and just hanging on a little longer than somebody else is what you need to actually win the day. Let's see. Carl says, hope you can come to next year's affiliate gathering. Would love to meet you in person. Carl, I would also love to meet you in person. The jury's out on travel, but we'll talk about it. I have some anxiety about traveling and some other issues that need to be dealt with over here. But I do have a passport now, and I can, and I thank this community for at least helping me overcome that hurdle. Sabina says she got her first $10 day, but traffic has been really flat here too. Yes, I concur. And I'll take flat, frankly. I'll take flat over that. Flat, it's not as good as this, but I'll take this over this. Let's see. D says, open up a new tab ready to read after the stream and after hitting the like button. Yes, so I can see that I'm about 5 minutes behind on the comments. Chris says, Chris is here, by the way. Thanks for dropping in, Chris. He says he'll do a 12-month update for his fight site too. I look forward to hearing about it. I would like to know just more about how that project is playing out. I'm sure other people do too. Let's see. Scrolling, trying to get caught up. I'm not going to get caught up. All right. The other thing I wanted to talk about briefly was with the Otis case study, and one of the reasons, another one of the reasons to add Ezoic, to add that site to Ezoic is sometimes I've heard people in not, I don't want to say chat rooms because we don't do that anymore, but in forums or in passing mention that sites struggling with indexing, that once they had integrated with Ezoic, that it seemed to be the something that helped jumpstart the indexing situation. And I was like, huh, well, this is a great time to see this site. I think last check over on SerpRobot, about 25 of 120 posts are currently popping in SerpRobot. And I thought, okay, well, let's see if integrating with Ezoic, if that jumpstarts the indexing process. Other people have said that it works for them. Let's see what happens. And the answer is no. Didn't do anything at all. Didn't hurt anything. Didn't go the wrong way, but it definitely did not solve any, did solved nothing. But now Azoic has been added and I don't have to do that later on in the future. Sabina says she added sidebars to her popcorn theme and did the ad placement with the plugin, and it was a big income boost. Yes, I also did notice, and I'd forgotten this, that some of my sites, especially that are running the popcorn theme, don't have the sidebar, and they're not sites that I'm paying that close attention to. So I've been wanting to go back and add the sidebar for the sticky ad for desktop. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there eventually. Let's see, people talking on popcorn, how easy it is. I concur. Popcorn is super easy. And whenever I have a question, I just email Phil, and Phil responds and points me to the article that says, here's how you fix it, which is awesome. It's awesome to have like an actual human at the other end. Let's see. Eric says he started to push site number 2 in April. Almost no article is indexed, maybe 5 out of 80. And I started to do the URL inspection in Google Search Console. I've been doing that with the Otis site, and it seems it's not fixing anything yet. Sometimes on other sites it will make a difference, but so far this one is very stubborn, like me, very stubborn. So we can relate, but I'm not going to give up on it just yet. Dee wants to know any updates on the drawing board. When can we expect more? I'm going to leave that. I don't know. Maybe soon, maybe not. It'll be like winning the lottery. It will feel like a windfall. It'll just happen. You'll be like, oh, this is glorious. Carl's headed out to get his fish and chips. Enjoy, Carl. Thank you for dropping in and hanging out for a minute. Josh said the Ezoic part makes sense to indexing as there is less server load, especially for people on cheaper hosting. Yeah. Next thing I wanted to chat about was my accountability moment. And I want to invite folks in the chat who are here for accountability to weigh in on what they managed to accomplish in the last week or since the last time that they made an accountability statement, and then what they're planning to do before we meet in the next time. And since this is my stream and I'm the only one who can talk and everybody else is on some sort of delay, depending on when you started this or how long it takes YouTube to get it to you, I'll go first. So the goal for the month was to get to 100 articles, and 100 articles in any way, shape, or form, outsourced, written, Jaspered, AI'd, whatever. So far I have 68 articles published, which means I have 32 articles to go. I am going a bit lighter on content investment, which means that I have to write more of them. I do have, I think, a handful of articles in draft from writers or that were outsourced that are ready for me, but I expect that I have at least 26 or 27 articles to push out and write, create in any whatever shape or form before the end of the month. I don't have kids the next couple of days because they're at their dad's, so I really think that it is possible to get it done. And so really I'm going to be just hyper focused on writing and getting those 32 articles done. So this is me saying By the end of the weekend, I need to get 32 published buttons pushed by the end of Sunday, and I'm going to get there. I could be more productive, but I don't really want to be because I feel like it's sort of because all the kids are going to school, it's a great opportunity to spend some really quality time with them. And then I'll be looking forward to in September, really knuckling down and maybe doing some more goal setting. Like, what do I really think is possible given the way my schedule and my life will have changed? So yes, that is where I am at. And now to you, my friends in the chat. What did you get done? What are you planning on getting done? And what are you going to do to get there? While people think about that or own up to it, I'm going to say hi to Sagar. What's going on? Dee says the drawing board is like winning the lottery when I get a new episode to listen to on the commute. Sagar says, how am I doing? I am doing well. I feel a bit like I'm in burnout recovery mode because I went really hard last year and went really hard this spring, and felt like motivation was drained out of me in May when basically all my momentum and progress was adjusted by the update. But I'm slowly regaining some passion and enthusiasm as I spend more time with my kids and I get outside a lot. And so I'm excited. I'm feeling more excited about the fall and what Q4 will look like. I definitely am not paying close attention to the RPMs and all the doomsday discussion because there's a lot of people who are doomsdaying it. But I would really love for lots of people to just leave this business and leave the leave the field open to us. I'm here. I'm not giving up. Josh says that I'm accomplishing living without AC in 100-degree Houston weather. It's been that's 100 degrees Fahrenheit for those of us here in this part of the world, but we are also in a medium heat wave. It is around 100 this week and probably will be into some of next week. And I battled it with the kids. We went to the beach where it was like 2/3 of the temperature over there for a couple of days, but I'm now back to roasting it. I do not know how I could sit in this chair sweating and feel comfortable working. So props to Josh. If I was here, I would pat you on like gingerly pat you on your sweaty back like that. Like I wouldn't even use my fingers. I'd just pat you on the back like good on you. Sabina says, I'm proud of all the work I've done, but really feeling the time constraints. Yes, I also feel that. And that's, I think, just going to be the way of it from now till the end of time. Zach says that he launched an email newsletter for his site. That is awesome. Once again, well done. I cannot wait to hear how this plays out and how it goes. He says he's working on a lead magnet, and a social push, which is great. Eric says that compared to last fall, I feel much better. I'm recovering from COVID, but still coughing a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of people getting felled by COVID lately around here, but luckily, happily, thankfully, they're not serious cases that lead to hospitalizations. So fingers crossed that everybody will be back to normal soon. He said he wanted to publish 40 articles and will reach 35, which is okay. It's still a good effort. And then we come around next month and start over. Dee says her goal is to fix her laptop or buy another one. The only problem is I'm too suspicious of the review sites. Yes, well, folks in the chat, if there's a good laptop that you are using or recommend for folks who are into blogging, feel free to say what you are using and whether or not she should buy that and why. And why. This would be a good opportunity. Jen says that she smashed her article goal for the month by setting up a post template. Traffic jumped 60%. Woo, gosh, those days feel so good. And that's one of the joys of working with a new site in the first year. And I don't see those beautiful days in year 2 or year 3 of a site. It's like, oh, 5% feels amazing, but 60% is awesome. Sabina says, I also feel like I've been a lot more strategic with my time. I feel like I'm getting a lot done. I bet that you are, and that's awesome. Sagar says his first site crossed $100 mark this month. This is a clap for you, friend. Well done. Well done. That is awesome. Josh, Eric says, speaking to Josh, that AC is forbidden here. Wow. Wow. At least in your apartment, unless you have a medical certificate. Holy moly. That is a bummer. That is a huge bummer. I'm definitely going to be running the AC today. I'm not running it now, but when the dragon sun is coming in this window in a couple of hours, I will definitely be running it. Dee says, second goal is I've just discovered paddleboarding. I need to work out how to stay stood up for more than 2 minutes. I usually sit on mine. I like to lay on mine. I actually like to lay on it and then just put the paddle aside and just like relax and just ride it out and listen to the birds more than I really like trying to stand up and get places. I mean, it's great. Like the paddling is great and all, but it's more fun to feel like I'm just out there in nature and I don't have to be sitting with like my butt in the water in an inner tube or in a raft. Like you can just lay down. It feels like laying on the ground. Josh says it's 85 to 90% humidity. That sounds awful. I mean, I'm sure it's great for your pores, like all of the sweating. Josh, Chris says that 100 degrees Fahrenheit is 37 Celsius. It's hard. I had to Google what 100 was. Yes, I would have. If I was not on the stream, I would have had to do the same because I just knew it was somewhere in the 30s. I just didn't know exactly where. Maeve says that she lives in Ireland. Heat is not an issue. Sometimes I bet you guys wish that it was a little warmer. Sometimes. Ooh, Jay Paul is here dropping in his accountability statement. I'm still looking for accountability statements in the chat. I'm going to keep scrolling looking for those. One, he says, finish mid-year investment update post. A complete intro and overview video for browser extension beta release. Start early adopter outreach. And yes, all this week. So you're going to complete that by next week. I'm excited to hear that and how that plays out. For computers, Josh is recommending the MacBook Air. And Dee refuses to sell her soul to Apple. Build a niche site is here in the chat. What's going on? Haven't seen you in a while. You'll have to let us know how things are with you and all of your burgeoning empire. Eric says his next objective is to rest. And you know what? Sometimes those of us who are go-getters need to actually plan some rest time. And I think that is a great idea. You say, okay, I'm going to complete A, B, and C, and then I'm going to actually purposefully set aside the hours of X to X to drink a beer and watch Netflix or whatever is relaxing for you. Jay-Z is dropping in with the hey, Amelia. John, how's it going? What's new? Tell us what is it that we need to know with what's going on with you? Leona dropping in says reviewed and updated 53 posts and happy this is done. I'm happy for you. That sounds like a ton of work. Build a niche site says that he's been hiding. San Diego Comic-Con has kept me really busy. It's over now. That sounds like a lot of fun. And I bet you took a lot of pictures and I wish that you could share them with us because I think it would be so much fun to go to one of those. And I live in a place that's really small where we don't have such things. So I'd have to take the kids and travel, but I think it would be a blast. It would be so fun. Eric says he has to figure out a better keyword process and then push content and get closer to that 50,000 sessions for Mediavine. I'm also really sort of thinking and planning and working on another large cluster of keywords for the Mega site because I feel like I'm spinning my wheels on the current clusters. Like I continue to post content in those and they're just not necessarily not going in the right direction. So I've got to find another cluster of keywords. That's maybe what I would call a shoulder niche that is maybe not very competitive that I could also build into. And it's not something that I'm just going to do like, oh, this. Like I've been thinking, kind of doing some research and looking around and haven't settled on anything. Feels like starting a new site a little bit. But I'm saying I concur. John says that he's focusing. That is what we talk about all the time, and I'm so glad to hear that because that is exactly what you need to do. Sagar says that he's originally from India. That's awesome. He says I work as a software developer. It is huge here if we can get to $1,000. It is the pay of a full-time software engineer. He's hoping to reach $1,000 to be able to quit my job. Well, here's the thing. The business here that you have chosen, that is entirely possible with hard work and dedication and just consistent work. It might not be a straight line, right? Like it might not be a straight line up. It might not happen tomorrow or next month or even this year, but it's going to happen if you stick with it. And that would be life-changing money for you to get a site to $1,000. So feel free to come back here and hang out with us here on your journey and let us know how it is going. Build a niche site talking about the San Diego Comic-Con. The attendance was 250,000. That sounds like a lot of people. John says that he's put up 56 articles per month, and it's about 516 in total. That's still a sizable site, and it looks like it's progress in the right direction. Build a niche site says he needs to move out of California. $1,000 a month is, you couldn't live on $1,000 a month in California. But that's what's glorious about this business for folks that live in other parts of the world, that $100 a month could actually mean a really significant difference in your quality of life, depending on where you are. And that's one of the reasons I really, really like it. I'm looking down at my to-do list for stuff that I had planned to talk about today. I'm not seeing anything else exciting. If I'm going to give folks in the chat, if you are here and you want to ask questions, you have any other topics, you are welcome to, and I will waffle while people make that decision. I've heard that Google is still obnoxiously tweaking things, and some people are recovering, which is awesome, and new people are getting slaughtered, which is not so awesome. So if you're catching this on the replay and that happened to you recently, we feel you, and fingers crossed that some other tweak will happen and things will return to normal. And then it's just a reminder to all the rest of us that just because nothing has happened yet, sadly, it doesn't mean that it won't. So that's really comforting as we make decisions about investing in time and money into our sites. But it just can't rest easy, even though the update apparently is mostly over. Maeve says, how is the Mega site? Did it recover? The answer is no. It's I didn't have like one of those massive, like straight to the bottom drops. I think it was mostly the snippets. I lost the snippets, and I haven't looked to see if I have reacquired any snippets, but that was the amount of traffic I lost because of snippets. And I don't think it's going to come back. I'm not planning on it coming back. I'm just going to keep doing the work and then hope that the site will get into some positive momentum phase, and then will again grow. I have sort of resigned myself to the fact that I probably won't hit my goal for the year as far as earnings and traffic, and that's why one of the I mean, so many reasons why I try not to set goals around things I can't control. All I can do is control how much content that I post to it. But I'm really thinking that it might be time to put that site more on a maintenance mode, at least for a while, and focus on growing some other newer properties to $1,000 a month at least, so that I just have more balance in some of the newer projects versus some of the older stuff that I have that produces revenue. It's just nice to have new things, and maybe I'll sell something, maybe eventually, possibly. Jen asks, has anyone tried John Dykstra's course? Is it worth the money? I generally like John's stuff myself. uh, I mean, it's just like anything, right? If you have the information and it's only really worth what you're willing to put into it. So I would say with any course, in the description below, in general, right now for beginners, I'm recommending Morton's course over John's, just because I think Morton really breaks down things well, especially in the basic phase, and he's still starting sites from scratch a lot. So I think the information that is there. Is just really, really applicable to beginners. I think John has a lot of stuff figured out, and so I definitely think like I have bought a lot of his stuff in the past, so I think well of his content. Also, I think he's doing it. Um, I I do a lot of the things that he does, and I have learned a lot from him. So I guess the answer is yes. I think one of the things that is probably the most valuable, honestly, from buying one of John's courses, is you get access to his forum. And then there's a lot of really dedicated, motivated, successful people in there, and you can just talk to them. And it's a great place to hang out. Jessica Prater, thank you for dropping into the chat. She says that she's new to the accountability group and appreciate all those who said welcome in the accountability spreadsheet. I'm pretty sure that I was one of those people. I see you there in the chat, and I see that you have some pretty specific goals. And Jessica, you'll have to tell us more about you, because it would be great to have you come to this time and actually work along with us. I really feel like the people who consistently consistently show up here and consistently show up in the spreadsheet also consistently get work done, and that is what needs to happen to get us on our goals. She says, one of my goals was to start some networking in the blogging industry, and joining a group was one of the first steps I have taken. Well, we are happy to have you here, and so is Adrian in 2018. The reason he put 2018 is because that was the year that I made the decision to actually make this a business versus a hobby. Build a niche site says, is this Google crash a part of the Icarus story? Well, I chose Icarus on purpose, and flying a little too close to the Google, and having my wings melted, I knew it was possible. Um, and I guess you're right. Like, maybe I did get my wings melted a little bit in May. There's Joanne. She says she's really fallen off track as husband has been in the hospital, going to start again. All is well at this end. Well, I'm glad to hear that things are well again. I'm sorry to hear about your husband. And sometimes recommitting yourself fully is what has to happen. You say, okay, I didn't do what I wanted to do last month or the month before, but I'm going to center myself and really say, this is it. I'm really going to get in there and lean on this group, get in here, get in the spreadsheet, or find somebody to talk to one-on-one to help you stay on track. Build a niche site says, where can we find John? The facts. He's the Fat Stacks. Fat Stacks. Is it fatstacks.com? Let's see if it resolves to. No, that's not it. What is it? Fat Stacks. What is? When I search Fat Stacks, I get a Breaking Bad musical. It's fatstacksblog.com. So fatstacksblog-get fatter. That's John Dykstra, and I cannot recommend John enough. Like, his world is a great place to hang out, and I have hung out there often. Bloggers on the Rise said regarding John's courses, he said, I purchased the keyword course before he started bundling with other courses. I can't comment on the other courses, but I do find the keyword one useful, and the forum. Dee says that she has John's course. There's a lot to it, and it's broken into modules. I like to dip in as when I have different issues. It's very accessible. Niche Site Lady, thanks for dropping in and hanging out with us here in the chat. I have recently signed up for John's course. Huge fan. Niche Site Lady, are you the Niche Site Lady who posts on Twitter a lot? And I get Twitter sends me updates about because I don't Twitter, I don't tweet. But I do get tweets delivered to my inbox from Twitter. I can't figure out how to turn it off, and many of them are from the niche site lady. So if that is you, you are in my inbox these days, and I say thank you for dropping in. Let's see. Jessica says, I appreciate it. I'm working on my first blog. Yes, the first one can be a real challenge, right? It's like immersing yourself in a new world. Treat it like a hobby, but now I'm going to take it more seriously. Yeah, there. I feel like that is the transition, right? It becomes less of a side hustle and more of a commitment to treating it like a business and approaching it like work, like going to work on a Tuesday, not an option. But sitting down to work on our blog is optional. So when you treat it like it's not optional, you end up getting a lot more done. Zach says the dexterous form is great. The course had good stuff, but whether it's worth the price it really depends. There's D dropping the link in there for us. Thank you very much. Zach says he's gotten a lot out of the forum more than the courses. So the way I approached John's course is I started a new website with the course and I just worked through it. And I don't know if he offers the course that I bought. He used to. It's been a handful of years now, but his course was a start a site from scratch setup, and so I started a site and followed along with it, and that's how I got the most value. And I did the same with Morton's course too, as I started a new site and worked through it as I was starting a new blog. And for me, in both those instances, was the best way to make use of those products. A niche site lady says, join the chat on Twitter. So it is her. I feel like we have like a small celebrity here in the chat today. She says, join the chat on Twitter. It's a great place to be with lots of helpful people. So I haven't gotten into Twitter yet. I feel like I might have some prejudice against Twitter. I feel like Twitter is a place where people like to like mic drop. Like their goal is to say the wittiest thing or the most scathing thing or the most controversial thing, and then nobody can do anything about it because we're not there in person, and because it's like a short, like however many characters you have with like a link or something, it leads people to say things that they would never say to your face. So I have not dived into it, but maybe I'll get around to it. Maybe that will happen. Maeve says she loves Twitter. So if I could figure out how to make my involvement in Twitter beneficial to me in some other way, other than just for the sake of like gaining followers to have followers, like to build up my self-confidence and my social profile, then maybe I would do it. But I don't know. It feels like one more thing that would have me like looking at my phone when I'm supposed to be like taking care of my children. Niche site lady says she just blocks those people, no problem. Yeah, I might be a little soft for Twitter. Like my heart is a little soft. I struggle with people who like to be controversial just for the sake of getting a retweet or a follow. D says I should share the podcast. That's one way. Driving traffic to my personal. Well, now that I have a personal site, that's another way. Build a niche site says I'm so behind on social media. He says he uses Facebook so that his mother can see pictures. That's what I use Instagram for, and then I have it locked down so that you have to. If I don't know you personally, you can't look at my pictures, and that's how I feel like a social media dinosaur. All right, folks, it is not quite the top of the hour, but I feel like I've caught up on the chat. And Zach says, join us for the chance to block the SEO who shall not be named. Hux says, SEO Twitter is, thanks for dropping in, by the way, Hux, and leaving a comment here. It says, SEO Twitter is both a goldmine of info and a cesspit of egos. Block and mute for the win. All right. We'll see. Maybe I'll just follow just the people I like and know and ignore everybody else. All right, folks. Let's make a plan for what we're going to get done. I've got 32 posts to get done before I see you next time, so I'm going to get to it. Karar says, our last question, he says, how much do you earn from blogging in total? That's not a question that I answer because I don't think it's relevant. And I feel like it's personal, but there are lots of people on YouTube or perhaps on Twitter who feel comfortable with that number. It's just not my style. Folks, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Do not melt. We'll see you. Is it going to be August the 20? Is it going to be August before I see? Well, I think it's going to be August. I'll see you next month. Take care, everybody.